Let's talk about windows and cycles. The process of getting pregnant seems easy, right? Sperm, egg, grow, baby, happy days. Well, fuck me, I thought so too. How can that process get complicated?
Why does everything have to be so complicated?
So what we're dealing with here are hormonal cycles. And believe it or not, both men and women have their own cycles. Men will experience their hormonal peaks and troughs of their cycle almost every 24 hours, while women experience their cycle over a much longer time frame. 28 days seems to be the typical duration of a cycle. Now, not all menstrual cycles are the same. If your partner keeps you informed of these things, gents, you might be thinking, yeah, that's pretty spot on. Or like me, you're thinking, holy shit, that ain't even close. There are so many variables that can affect a menstrual cycle that typical can and will look very different for everyone. Things like polycystic ovaries or PCOS and endometriosis can cause irregular and inconsistent cycles. And that's not to mention weight, diet, or stress, among many other factors. For example, my wife has polycystic ovaries and has a 45-day cycle every 2 months and a 35-day cycle every other month. How the fuck is anyone meant to make sense of that?
You still don't understand the concept.
It's not all doom and gloom, and it's not always a bad thing. It just means you gotta be on your A game if you're trying to get pregnant. Or if you're running the unprotected sex gauntlet and not trying to get pregnant, you gotta be extra savvy.
Savvy.
So let's now compound this crazy bullshit with fertile windows. Inside a woman's hormonal cycle, there are what's known as fertile windows, which are moments of time where an egg will be or has been released by an ovary and can be fertilized by sperm. The highest chance of conception is during the 3 days before ovulation and the day of ovulation. This is because our adventure-seeking swimmers can set up base camp and wait for up to 5 days for an egg to fertilize. So not only do you have to try and figure out the cycle, but you have to identify the fertile window for your best chance at getting pregnant. Ovulation typically occurs at the halfway point of the menstrual cycle, which in a typical 28-day cycle will put ovulation at about 14 days before the first day of the next period. But as explained earlier, typical isn't always the case. So what can help identify the fertile window? Vaginal discharge. Bet you weren't ready for that one. Discharge will typically change around the time of ovulation and will take on a sort of egg white appearance. This isn't the only potential indicator though. Another one, which is great for all involved, is increased sex drive. It's self-explanatory. Enjoy. If you'd like a different approach, you can always use ovulation kits. These allow for women to test for a rise in the LH hormone, which, if positive, indicate ovulation in around 24 to 36 hours. So there you go. Try and navigate that shit show. As usual, do your own research, talk to your own healthcare providers for your best outcome. Listening to me sure ain't gospel. Why would I rub my face against a window? This is easily one of the dumbest things I've ever done.